Good evening, this is Kuro. Got a replay from the last ranked sprint season in Ognevoi and gonna give you guys a rundown on it. I was going through old games and this just has a lot of really good destroyer play, particularly in a ship that a lot of people struggle in, and figure it's a good opportunity to share that with you guys. This game is me trying to knock off um, basically get the reward container for Ognevoi. So the map is Greece. We spawn on the eastern side of the team. We're gonna push over to B cap and basically try to take the cap, scout from our team, and go from there. Um, Ognevoi, I think, is one of the few ships in the Russian destroyer line that people really struggle with because it is a little different. Um, Only two turrets. It really, I think, throws a lot of people just the same way a lot of people don't like Nustra Shimmy because they think that the destroyer is relatively weak. Ognevoi, since it's been buffed, is fairly strong. I'm playing this as with concealment expert. This is more of a competitive captain uh, where you're relying on your repair parties and that type of stuff. So basically, what I'm doing here, I see that I've got this cap into B cap way before the enemy DDs for whatever reason. So that's going to cause me to lead my torps on the short side of the island because they're sending somebody here. It's just going to take them a while, and these are relatively slow torpedoes. Um, I want to give the those torpedoes time to get out there, and they're basically going to run down this sort of path, and maybe I catch something. Now, Ognevoi's issue has always been its concealment, so I'm using this rock. I'm trying to close distance. I have enemy DDs, a Harikaze, and a Fantastique. Both of them, I'd rather fight the Fantastique than the Harikaze. It's got a few more tools to try to deal with me. Um, but I push up here. Unfortunately, don't spot him, and I get spotted. That's telling me that it's likely the Harikaze up here. I do pick up the Harikaze just in time for my torpedoes to wipe him off the face of the map. And with one of the main DD threats done, I'm going to go on ahead and I'm going to lay a smoke column. Now, this smoke column, I don't think I've done a video on how on this type of smoke deployment. Gonna give you a rundown. What I've done, I've left a little tail here, and I started turning to kite out. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to basically kite back, and I'm just going to keep shooting at this guy, and eventually I'm going to rotate my guns to this side, to my port side of my ship, and just make a tiny little angle so I can get shots in on this Bismarck. And the idea being, I'm just going to use this initially as a smoke that I'm either directly in front of or behind, or I am inside. And then eventually, if this guy keeps pushing in, I can keep pushing out and kiting him. And as long as I maintain this and stay outside of the Bismarck's 5 kilometer hydro, I'll remain undetected. So I know he's pushing, I know he's got hydro up. So you see, I've got my angle, I'm rotating my guns. Now I'm just leaving the smoke behind me, letting it act as a curtain. Now I see the Bismarck getting ready to turn. Now if the Bismarck kept sailing in this direction, that's fine. All I do is I reverse direction and I sail back around, and I'm basically trying to keep this smoke screen between me and the Bismarck. You can see the boundaries of the smoke screen. That gives you a pretty good idea of what you can when you can shoot safely and when not. Um, this type of smoke, it's really annoying for, particularly German battleships that you're kind of baiting them in. They see you shooting through the smoke and they're like, you know, dumb DD, he's, smoked up shooting. I'm gonna hydro him and wreck him. And really, you just keep baiting him in. He's looking at me right now. He's looking. I should be detecting this guy. Why am I not detecting this guy? And now that I see him turning away, I'm actually going to start reversing back in towards my smoke screen to get a little closer. Bismarck does take 2 torpedoes, and that just encourages me to really just keep hammering him with gunfire. Okay, Bismarck, having eaten the torps, his damage control's probably just off cooldown. That's an unrepairable fire. He's just going to try to bail out. He doesn't have a lot of options at this moment in time. I'm trying to use all of my smoke here. I'm just trying to finish this this Bismarck off if I can. And then the Fantastique pops up. It's time for me to go dark. So, just gonna stop shooting, gonna angle away. Play with my throttle, just be hard to hit. I drop off in 5 seconds. The damage I take now, it's greatly diminished by the fact I've got a repair party. Now, this, I think, me not shooting, I think, emboldened the Fantastique. He's going to rush me. And the reason why this is a mistake, look at my position. All I've done is I fell back to my support, my Tikal back here, who, seems like he's bow tanking by the island, but that's, kind of whatever. His support is the Bismarck, who is, just taking a pounding. This guy's already been showing a real interest in disengaging. His support's going to get further and further from me. You look at, the direction that I'm facing. All I'm doing is this guy wants to come in. He's opening himself up to my support while I'm kiting away from his support. And it means that I'm not going to take as much damage from the Bismarck as theoretically this Tikal will deal to the Fantastique. Classic situation where a destroyer is just over pursuing. He didn't get shot by me. He doesn't know how accurate I am with the guns. I'm sure he thinks Ognevoi free kill, and you know, sometimes Ognevois are driven by good players. So I'm gonna open up now that he's pushed in here, and I've got my smoke coming on cooldown. That was, another reason for kiting back, because I see that he's popped his reload booster. Just gonna hit smoke. Okay, try to shoot at me. I'm just gonna accelerate forward. And that he has nowhere to go. Actually gonna pop out of the smoke just to make sure he can't disengage. And that's the end of the Fantastique. For all of his shooting and, all of that, I popped one repair in there. I've got another repair that can come back online and repair quite a bit more. It's... this is one of the advantages with destroyers that have repair parties. It gives you the ability to sit and tank for a little bit while your support, works on enemy DDs, and lets you hold that, bad trade just a little bit longer. In this case, I was just kind of wrecking the guy, but repair parties are, in my opinion, they're right up there with smoke for as powerful as the consumable is. Um, Obviously, the larger the heal, the more precious it is in relation to smoke. And when you have destroyers that have, both smoke and repair party, like Ognevoi, um, Udaloi, Grozovoi, Nustrashimi, it's incredibly potent. You just have so many tools at your disposal. It's almost not fair. So here, just gonna play smart, step in the cap. The enemy team, they have equalized kills. They do have a slight point lead on us. So just gonna step in the cap, pick it up because it's open now. We've paved the way with 2 destroyer kills. Now with no DDs left on the enemy team because I killed them all, um, the enemy team's in an unfortunate situation where they're going to need to push in and try to deal with my team, try to prevent points from running away, and it is a rough situation. Here I was just waiting until my smoke was getting ready to come back off cooldown, so I let it get fairly close. And again, just gonna keep kiting this Bismarck. I'm angled away from the Takao. I rank the Takao as the bigger threat than the Bismarck. The Bismarck guns are kind of wonky, and with secondary spec, it takes a long time for that to really do anything to me. During this engagement, you see me actually pop my repair party, and I'm doing that just because, um, don't want to tank too much damage. Takao gets a decent hit in there as I'm disengaging. Now, I basically smoke up there and I disengage to, once the Bismarck's down, I basically want to reset and, come back into this fresh. I don't want to take a bunch of damage from the Takao trying to be greedy and just go right to farming him. I'm trying to I've got a Bismarck and a Takao back here. Just trying to keep this guy off C-cap, keep him spotted for the team, and, just, do my job. And, you know, this is actually getting to be a really close game because my team keeps dying on A-cap. Now the Takao, he's pushing in. The Takao, honestly, I think that his efforts would have been better spent just trying to not push the cap, just try to shoot what he can spot, particularly the Bismarck back there. My Takao, I don't know what this guy's doing. He just keeps trying to like bow tank stuff, and Takao is not a bow tanking ship. So right here, I actually think the enemy team has more HP than we do. I do get a flood on the Takao. He is capping C, so I'm going to need to do something about it. And, this unfortunately is a situation. My team's not really shooting at this guy right now. I can't let him have the cap, so I'm just going to start opening up on the guy. He did blow his repair party, so, there is some good potential for me to get some unrepairable fires, some module damage, stuff that might soften him up. There I got his rudder. Might make him a little easier to deal with in the future. There's an unrepairable fire. And just, keep hammering this guy. I see that he's aiming at my Takao, which is a good play for him because my Takao, he's, a really cheap kill right now for them. This is just me trying to hang in there and just get whatever sort of damage out I can because um, my team needs it right now. Angling away because the Takau's shooting. Finally getting some shots in on this Takau. And they're able to pick him up. And that basically clinches this battle. So again, just I know this is an older game, um, but it had so many good just destroyer, um, plays and different moves that I couldn't just delete this video without making something for you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed this game in Ognevoi. It is a ship that I do appreciate and I do like, especially after the buffs. Um, if you have any questions or comments, leave them below. I hope you're having a good night, and I will talk to you later.